Final update. Life takes unexpected turns. It's funny how life can twist in ways you never expect. After that strange encounter with Andrew, I thought I'd never see him again. But it didn't quite turn out that way. A week after he confronted me outside of my office, he sent me a text. It was simple. Coffee? At first I hesitated. After all, he was Jake's best friend and everything had been so complicated between us. But then again, what harm could a cup of coffee do? I figured, why not? At the very least, I could try to salvage a normal conversation from this entire mess. We met at a small cafe not too far from my place. I didn't expect anything other than an awkward, polite conversation. But surprisingly, it wasn't awkward at all. We talked about what happened at the wedding, of course, but then we shifted gears, laughing about random things from our past, shared stories of college life, and chatted about our jobs. It was nice. And we had a lot in common, more than I ever realized. Andrew was smart, funny, and incredibly easy to talk to. It felt natural. By the end of that first coffee, we'd both decided it wouldn't be the last. One coffee turned into another. Another coffee led to dinner, and soon it wasn't just coffee or dinner anymore. We were spending a lot of time together, and before I knew it, we were dating. And for once, things felt simple and good. No secrets, no hidden agendas, just two people enjoying each other's company. Of course, there was still the matter of Jake. I hadn't spoken to him since the wedding fiasco, and I knew at some point I would have to face him. Andrew encouraged me to talk to Jake to clear the air, so I finally did. A few days later, Jake and I sat down for lunch. It was surreal seeing him after everything that had happened, but this time there was no tension. Just a quiet sense of understanding that we'd both made mistakes. Jake confessed everything. He told me about the woman, the child, and how he had been paying child support for years without telling anyone. He admitted that he had been terrified of what his parents, friends, and family would think, and that's why he had kept it hidden. But after the wedding incident, he had no choice but to come clean. They wanted to meet the kid, he said, his voice heavy. So I had to reach out to the mother. I've seen him a few times now. He's a good kid. I was shocked, but also oddly relieved. At least something good had come from all of this. Jake's son would finally get to know his father. And as for me, well, I had moved on. Before we left, Jake looked at me and said, "You were right to do what you did. I should have told you the truth from the start. Maybe things would have turned out differently, but I'm glad you're happy now." I thanked him, and we parted ways on good terms. No hard feelings, no animosity, just two people who realized they weren't meant to be. And now, here's the real kicker. Andrew and I are getting married. Yep, you read that right. It wasn't something either of us had planned on, but after months of dating and spending nearly every day together, it just felt right. We're not doing anything big though, just a small courthouse wedding. After everything that happened with Jake, I didn't want another grand ceremony. Plus, my parents had already paid for a big wedding once, and they weren't too keen on doing it again. I can't say I blame them. The wedding is in 2 weeks, and honestly, I'm excited. Andrew is the kind of person I never thought I'd end up with, but sometimes life surprises you in the best ways. So was I the asshole for what I did at the wedding? Maybe. I can't deny that what I did was extreme, and yes, I probably should have just called off the wedding like a normal person. But looking back, I realize now that it was the push both Jake and I needed to confront the truths we had been avoiding for so long. And in the end, everything worked out the way it was supposed to. Jake's son will get to know his father, and I've found happiness in a relationship I never expected. Life takes funny turns sometimes, but I guess that's what makes it so interesting.